It's my genes and nothing I can do about it. Hi, thank you so much for joining Dr. Mora Health again. As we've been exploring the subject of health, we defined what is health, and then we went on to define our equation and what we can do in each aspect of that equation. If you would have missed any of this, please go back and watch these videos. After defining the health equation, we went on first to explore the common belief about health, which is really myths about health, and we've been debunking these myths throughout the couple of videos that I've been doing. This will be the myth number 6. If you have missed the previous ones, you have a place to catch up with that, because just understand this misconception of a certain aspect of health alone can really prepare you to living a healthier life. Now, it's commonly believed that if your parents or grandparents have a certain disease, it's genetic and there's nothing you can actually do about it. But that is not necessarily true. In fact, up to 90% of common disease that we have today, such as cardiovascular disease, diabetes, overweight, and many major cancers, can actually be prevented through our own action. Yes, it's very true when it concerns, for example, diabetes. There have been about 50 different genes that have been pinpointed that can be a risk factor for some people to develop diabetes. But when you combine all of them together, they still really don't have much weight on someone really becoming that diabetes. In fact, they compare to someone who has genetic predisposition to diabetes versus those who don't. Those people that are overweight, who has the lowest genetic risk to develop diabetes, were 5 times higher to develop diabetes if they are overweight and obese, versus those who have high genetic risk to develop diabetes, but who were having normal weight. So it's really not true that if you happen to have that genetic predisposition, you're definitely going to have that disease. What people don't often realize is that more than a genetic code, lifestyle, our action, our diet, you happen to eat like how your parents ate, and you continue the same, you're likely to have the same diseases they did have. And so this is very important to understand, because if someone is into this genetic sequencing to say, oh, how much risk do I have for developing diabetes, and somehow your genetic predisposition is very low, you may actually have this false confidence that you can do anything you want, you're not going to develop diabetes. But that is not necessarily the case, because people who are overweight and obese, one of the risk factors of developing diabetes, no matter how low your risk of developing your genetic risk of developing diabetes, you're likely to develop diabetes than someone else who might actually be having that high risk. Now, this is very true, as the saying goes. Remember, your genetic code may load the gun, but actually our lifestyle, our action pull the trigger. And this is very, very important to realize. We still have a power to change many things. You can be healthier despite this genetic makeup, that genetic risk that we're often talking about. Because once we change our lifestyle, that is what we call the epigenesis. We can actually change the expression of our genes through our action, through the environment, through what we do. We still have the power to change. So it's not true that if you are having any genetic risk for any diseases, you will likely have to get it. It is not predetermined, and it is not your destiny. Anyway, just in the comment below, what do you think it is? Have you heard this before, that you had diabetes or you have hypertension? Have you been thinking that you're likely going to get it? How has it been your experience? Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next as we explore more of this misconception about health.